Welcome to Live, Life Inspired Views for Every Day. My name is Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul. My dad used to tell me that the stories of our lives, which had a profound enough impact on us to change our behavior, character, or attitude, can be called our personal myths. Myths are the kind of stories used in ancient times to explain what could not be explained. They are stories that describe the beginnings, the reasons for actions or behaviors, stories that try to teach us meaning. Our personal myth stories are similar. They explain a lot about us. One of my myth stories happened when I was in eighth grade, and I know I've told you this, but the Catholic kids came up from their school and joined the public school in eighth grade. Mary Jo Wagner was one of those kids, and I thought she was so cool. I not only wanted to be like her, I wanted to be her best friend. So, in my insecurity to get her to like me, I was always talking about things that were kind of negative or complaining about other students, thinking that that would impress her. One day after school, we were walking down the hill on the way home, and I was saying something like, "Did you see what Sharon wore today?" And suddenly she turned to me and said, "Everything is always kind of bloody or negative, isn't it?" Wow. It was like the TV cameras were on me, and I realized what I must be like in her eyes. And I did not want to be that kind of person. And from that day, I chose another story to live. That experience came to my mind last week when I was reading a biweekly newsletter I get from a motivational speaker named John Gordon. He was describing an encounter he had with a company owner, Dwight Cooper. In Cooper's business, he had a rule called the no complain rule. The rule says you are not allowed to complain unless you also offer one or two possible solutions. He says it's a way to turn negative energy into positive solutions. The rule isn't intended to eliminate all complaining, just mindless, chronic complaining that doesn't help anyone. When I just said that last sentence about mindless, chronic complaining, did people or incidences pop into your mind? It sure did for me. John Gordon used Dwight Cooper's The No Complain Rule as the title of his book. He states that every complaint is an opportunity to turn a negative into a positive catalyst for innovation. This rule helps prevent the spread of toxic negative energy. He goes on to say that preventing the spread of negative toxic energy empowers people to help improve, innovate, and grow. We all have old tapes in our minds. I can think of several people who were determined not to repeat the habits of negative parents. If you are one of those who is determined not to repeat those negative tapes in your head, to break the patterns of your youth, adapting the no complaining rule might be a good one to institute into your life. The positive energy to drive out toxic and negative attitudes affects all kinds of areas in our lives and within our relationships. Here are some synonyms for the word complain: grumbling, whining, accusing, bellyaching, charging, disapproving, and discontented. How fun is it to work with or be with people who display those behaviors and attitudes? They still are energy. So reflect a minute. Are there some words that might describe you? If there are in that list, a bit of reflection, courage, and determination might change your life, and you would have your own personal myth. Remember how I have shared that growing up, I was a people pleaser, going along with what anyone said so I would be liked and accepted? I was so afraid to say anything against someone's complaining. Now, now I'm not afraid to disagree anymore, but I've had to work on it. I just talked about wonder and mystery in last week's podcast. A complainer turns into a critical person, never seeing the good, always looking for the negative gaps, the dents, the mistakes, even when people are doing the best they can with what they've got. When you become a chronic complainer or cynic or become hypercritical with the default of always looking for the negative, you miss out on the goodness and the wonder all around you. I'm not willing to trade away the goodness and wonder of life. Are you? Holly Brubach said, "By the time we are 50, we have the face we deserve." She went on to say that after 5 decades of continual scowling, smiling, sneering, smirking, or laughing, we have etched on our face something that tells the world a great deal about who we are. What is etched on your face? This week, look in your bathroom mirror and see what might be etched on your face. Then write, when I have a complaint, am I going to use my energy to make something better or tear something or someone down? Join me next Monday for Live, Life Inspired Views for Every Day. I'm Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul.